S.Y.D, Share Your Dreams is where I interview business owners and investors who are living in their dreams, doing what they love to do, day in and day out. Please join me to get an insight on their passion. Stay tuned. Good morning, guys. Adrian, Kathleen, how are you? Good morning.
Hi, Chris.
How are you? Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Very welcome.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure. Pleasure to see you guys again, and to obviously talk about your passion and your business. It's another episode of Share Your Dreams, where I interview business owners and investors. So let's kick it off. Can you tell us how your business all started?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Look, I previously worked as financial advice practice.
Okay.
About 2 years ago, I was made redundant, and what actually happened was I went on to another role.
Okay.
But for the last year within the financial practice, myself and another who's in this business now as well, we set up a mortgage broking business within the financial planning practice.
Okay.
So I did my exams at that time. We also researched a lot of the aggregators and what went into putting a business together. And we basically fundamentally hired in a mortgage broker, set up the business with the licenses, and did all that work, so that had been done. And what happened is I went on to another role after being made redundant, and the general manager at the time went in and set up a business himself, Equilibria Finance, who I brand through now.
Okay,
so he went and set that up. So about 6 months later he rang me and said, look, you've done all the exams, how's that role going you were in? And I said, I'm interested in what's the on offer. So we spoke for about 3 months around what's it look like, what's the opportunity, where do I fit in, how would our business look, how would we operate day to day. And eventually around May we decided to take the plunge and start up our own business. So we got our own business, set all that up, get the things that go into that. We'll talk about that later. But just getting a plan together. What's our business plan? What are we going to do? And how are we going to survive in relation to it? Because starting a business, as you know yourself, takes time. 3 months,
That's
6
right.
months before you start seeing the income. So that was fundamentally how we came about. And it was something I really enjoyed when I was actually doing it. And it was something I wanted to give it a go because it's a big step, as you know yourself, moving from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, into your own business. But it was something I really felt passionate about and something I wanted to get into. So that's where it all came about. It was that opportunity to use, basically the first 6 months had been set up, website, marketing, brochures, for me to be able to use all that and walk in straight away first day and do so.
And you do that yourself? Like, do you do the updating of the websites and
Correct,
like
yeah. So in regards to update the websites, marketing material, all that sort of thing.
So you're very hands-on with all aspects of your business.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's excellent. So with your so do you mainly focus on like home loans, mortgages? Do you do all other types of loans?
Yeah, we do all types of loans insofar as it's probably about 80% residential.
Yes.
Currently, we've dipped our toe on a few commercial lately. Commercial SMSFs has been a little bit of a thing we've got into in the last 6 to 9 months. A couple of businesses who bought premises to then work in them as a commercial unit, which is allowable under the SMSF. So that's the opportunity. SMSFs, a lot of people have got out of that market for residential, but for the commercial, it's still a really good space to play in. But we also do asset finance around cars. So we'll try and make sure when we do meet a customer, we let them know, because the odds are when you buy a house, you buy a new car within 2 years. Yeah. But if they don't know, they just go somewhere else. So
they splurge,
it's fundamental.
get a new house, and then we need a new car to match.
Absolutely.
Put in the garage.
But if you don't have to really let them know what you do, they'll just move on if they're not sure about that. So that's key, is actually letting them know that we fundamentally do that as well for them.
Okay. So with your type of business, obviously every now and then you'll hit roadblocks. There are changes in the industry, like for example, with the Royal Commission, with them cracking down and things like that. Can you share with us maybe like a recent obstacle or a roadblock that you came across, and were you able to overcome it?
Sure. Look, from my point of view, the Royal Commission is definitely throwing up a lot of the worst case scenarios.
Yes.
But you have to remember, the mortgage broking, over 53% of people use brokers for a reason. And with the tightening of the credit policy and all the lenders, that's only going to get worse. Like, what you get away with a year ago, 2 years ago, just will not work nowadays.
Yeah.
The borrowing power is less. What you need to provide is 10 times more.
A lot more. Yeah.
And how you position yourself to be able to get a loan.
Yeah.
That's where you need to get a broker to help you to actually do so. So I see it as an opportunity, absolutely. The only thing is if they start hitting how we get paid and remunerated, that could hurt the market insofar as people won't survive. I think the average wage is about 80,000 for a broker. If they start taking it down by half, no one can live on that.
That's right.
So that's the bit I'll be worried about. But fundamentally, I'm no problem with the credit checks. Like, the bank should have been doing this all along with the Royal Commission, in my opinion. ASICs are there to police the banks.
Yes.
The brokers put in a deal. If it's a bad deal, just say no.
Just say no.
Check what you've put in, from my point of view, and let ASICs then check the banks are doing what they do, and everything will be fine. Like, I have no problem with that. But nowadays, going back to what I was saying, fundamentally, brokers now have a huge opportunity to help people to actually get in their homes. And that's, from my point of view, a massive next 12 months is to actually keep the broker market growing and help people navigate through this new structure. As you said, you mentioned about how do you overcome.
Yes.
Little things like, one of the clients I had is a young man buying his first investment property up in Queensland with his father owns a commercial property beside it.
Yeah.
So it's a good opportunity for the family as a whole to buy this like a 4-acre land beside it, so if they want to expand the commercial property.
It, maybe later develop it.
100%, that's down the line, but he's a mechanical plumber, makes a nice living, but didn't structure it. So I managed to structure a deal for him, put it together, and then everything was fine, ticked off, and we went for the valuation. They neglected to tell me that the house we were using for investment purposes was basically a rundown thing with nothing inside it. There was holes in the roof.
So not even livable?
No, absolutely. No. The chickens wouldn't live in it. That's how bad it was. There was chickens that wouldn't live in it. So all of a sudden, the father's already cultivating the land. He cleared off trees because they had a deal with the parents. And I'm like, well, what are we going to do here? Flat out no from the lender I was with. I had to go and search across every lender who would lend on land value only to try and get a deal done. Now I had to go through 10, 15 lenders, ringing up, speaking with credit teams, policies. Took me 5, 6, 7 hours just trying to find someone who would take my call, as in, yes, that's something we can look at.
What a gun broker.
You
need a broker like you.
But this is fundamentally what I'm talking about. That's just one case, and basically we were able to get across on land value. We got a really good land valuation with another lender, and they were able to get 90% of the loan on land value, not the actual bit on top of it, which is settling next Tuesday. So fingers crossed and good. But that's the kind of thing I'm talking about.
Good work,
Little bits of things that you just don't know what's going to happen. That case was done, and all of a sudden I have an extra 2 days of work just to try and find a solution. Fundamentally, so that's the things I'm talking about, and trying to get across is that you just don't know what's going to happen. Like from the preparing, like the first home buyers, just making sure they've got their finances in order. People are looking at 6 months history nowadays. You can't be, gambling online or getting eBay every 100%. That's the kind of stuff, and people just don't know that nowadays. So that's fundamentally is to what we do and how we overcome them as a broker, and those are the scenarios, and that's who you want to be helping. Anybody who makes 300,000 a year can walk in and get $1 million loan because they tick all the boxes, but it's all the other 60% who have their little niches and idiosyncrasies that need that help. So that's fundamentally what we do.
No, that's excellent. Now with your business, is there something, if you can give us something that you love about it, like your day to day, what do you love most about your business, and you can share on that?
It's kind of what I just spoke about. It's finding that solution. You get
and
that
just
buzz.
helping your clients.
You get that buzz. And you get that buzz. Now, it can be from the first home buyer who, as I said, walks in, we would like a loan. What kind of loan? We don't know. Okay, what's involved with this process? You sit them down and say, look, there's step A, B, C, D, E. And like, people haven't heard of half of these steps. What's settlement? What's a solicitor? What's a conveyancer? What do I need?
A lot of the general terms they never even heard of, and then when they hear it or they see it on paper, they get confused, they get worried, they get cold feet.
So and it's just about guiding them through.
That's right.
Just helping them out.
It's good to have that broker, to have like on a personal level, and they feel comfortable, and and you know, dealing with someone that's knowledgeable and they can
people just like, they're looking
take
for
the stress
help.
away.
Just to help, because
Exactly.
it's the unknown.
That's why you need a broker.
Yeah, it's the unknown is what's scary.
Yes.
In any walk of life,
Yeah.
like the unknown bit is usually scarier than the actual thing when you tackle something head on.
Yeah.
So it's just someone to go, look, this will happen, this will happen, this may happen, just so they're aware. Oh yeah, he told me about that. I'm okay with that. Rather than, what's this valuation short? And they're running around, you know, thinking the worst. But that's what I'm talking about. Is the key is just to fundamentally. What we love about it is the fact that you get to help these people, from the first home buyer or that person who needs to buy his land, and ringing that person who gets their home and you're saying you're approved. That's a great call.
Oh.
Yeah, you love those calls. You know,
Yeah.
that's why you do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're the calls you get up in the morning for, to go, yeah, you know, we've been on this road together, setting things out, but I love making those calls.
No.
Those are the
It's
best.
a good feeling to, you know, to give out the good news.
Yeah.
Especially,
Absolutely.
you know, if you're dealing with a client that maybe they didn't have success in the past, or maybe with previous banks or brokers, you know,
Yeah.
they've said no multiple times, and
We've
you
had
know,
many
for-
cases like that, and it's a rewarding feeling when you know that you can help someone and they're so deserving of it. Everyone deserves to have their own home, and when we can make it possible for them, it's an amazing achievement.
I said there's loads of scenarios. There's also the scenario around, you know, I had a client who had run up debt, as in their business, they run up debt. They were using, like, you know, short-term lending finance at, you know, 40% loans, and credit cards were maxed. So they actually came in tears. The wife came and said, look, we need help. The good part was they had $1 million home with a $400,000 loan or mortgage, so there was equity in there to actually use.
Yes.
So by, you know, taking the 2 credit cards for 50 grand, taking away the same day lender loan, all of a sudden they were saving $3,000 to $4,000 a month on out payments. So it's not all about running
just
the
on
house.
those credit cards alone. What's that, like 12-13%?
Oh, you'll be looking at probably
Yeah,
20%,
20.
Oh, wow.
or 18 to 20%.
Yeah.
As I said, and those same day loans are 2% a month,
Yeah.
3% a month, depending on how much you're doing. So they're just like literally paying the debt. They're not actually doing anything. Sorry, paying interest.
Paying interest,
and that's all they
and
were
they were
doing.
just,
So to be able to get the, you know, the 4% or the 3.8 against the home for business purposes, probably about 4%. But all of a sudden, instead of paying 20, you're paying 4.
Yeah.
It helps. And I said, all of a sudden, 4,000 extra a month into your back pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the bits. You know, it's not always about that first home buyer. There's also scenarios where
You
people
get
just
to
need help. They
save
just
your clients
Yeah.
and
money.
basically save their businesses and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different scenarios that play out, and it has to be ready for them.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a why and purpose for what you do day in and day out?
And we want to build a business that's sustainable. We want to make a living. We want to be able to enjoy our lives. Like, that's the reality of anybody who does anything. You don't do it for, you know, and that obviously involves making money to be able to do so.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because money makes the world go round.
Yeah.
But fundamentally, we want to be able to see for our kids that, you know, do our kids want to come into a business when they're older? I'd always, you know, maybe they'll come into it. We have a kid in 5 years' time, you know, he'll be 19, 20 at college, hopefully, but
Yeah.
maybe something to be interested in, because I know he's after taking up business now in that regard. So for my why is always about, you know, firstly, family unit. How can we make our lives, you know, relate with the kids? I've found so much more time with the kids since I've stopped the 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. Now, don't get me wrong, there's weekends where I'm working late, or there's night times I'm up till midnight putting an application together.
It's no longer 9 to 5.
No.
No,
You're
it's
just
all
on call
weekends.
24/7.
Yeah, so
it's all weekends.
fundamentally,
as well.
yeah, absolutely.
At
And,
times.
and don't get me wrong, that can get, you know, you're going, oh my God, do I put my phone on silent?
Yeah.
Don't turn it off, put it on silent so you can ring them back. But the why is definitely about, you know, bettering our lives, bettering our kids. And then for the clients themselves, similar to what we just said, it's the why is to trying to get that help that they need, because there is a definite need for broking and someone to guide through the loan process. So the why is absolutely around that.
Oh, excellent. A typical day in the life of Adrian and Kathleen. Can you share with us maybe
Typical
like
day, is that a thing?
From the morning.
Is that a thing? I didn't, a typical day.
Every day is different.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there is no typical day. When you're working for yourself, there's 3 or 4 things that are in my day. As in, I need to do networking lead generation, because it's just fundamentally the next 3 months. That has to be there each day. There's obviously follow-up calls and admin, but when your clients want to meet you, when you need to meet with brokers, you need to network, you're at the beck and call as to when that is. So there's no typical day.
Network is very important of any business, I would say, because, you know, markets, business, you always have its up and downs. You know, you could be in a really hot market where, you know, you've got leads and business constantly coming in, but then you also have the quiet side of the business where nothing is coming in, and that's when you then have to rely back on, as you say, you know, getting your leads, getting in contact with people that you know. And
and what I was saying is having that structure is key. You know, have a plan, sticking to it, that, you know, I'm going to do these 3 things a week or 4 things of this. Otherwise, you know, as you said, you can have a lean week or 2 weeks, and if you don't stick to your plan and your, you know, what you set out for yourself, all of a sudden you find yourself with nothing in a month's time or 2 weeks or 2 months' time. So that's key, is to actually keep that process. It's about process, and keep repetitive. Make the calls to the advisors, touch base with your clients, you know, who knows what will come of it, but it's about like those little touch points to make sure that you're keeping on top of that. I think the typical day, there is none of them with kids and family, and there's like at the moment the kids are doing something around Rockdale Rocks. So yeah, I had to drop them this morning. They have a matinee show, and again at 5 o'clock. I'm dropping him at 5 and picking him up at 7:30. Wow. So I'm a taxi for the rest of this.
Taxi driver as well.
In relation to it.
Cool. So knowing what you know now in business and based on your experience, can you what would you advise your younger self, knowing what you know now?
I suppose my younger self, I said this business is going to be doing a couple of years. So the main thing is, from talking to me and my business now, I think is about sticking to the plan, have a plan, set your business goals, because goals are key. Like, if you don't have goals, like you're literally just wandering up and down the field without.
Like there's no target. You need a target.
Absolutely.
To aim for.
You have to have short-term goals and long-term goals, and then sticking to them.
That's it.
Yeah, and I think that's key. But as you said, the plan is, you know, where do we go from here? What do we tell ourselves from, you know, when we're younger? There's lots of stuff I'd tell myself when I was younger. I would tell myself to get into computing and build an app when I was in college, rather than going through my accounting degree. Because I've seen guys on YouTube make $1 million a year. So if I could use coding and apps, that could be great. If I'm telling myself younger, but I think back to fundamentally, when I was younger, goal setting and planning was not my thing. It was I was good at doing things and getting involved in a moment, but having that next step and making sure that there was a logical next step, and that you made a great X, but if you don't actually carry it through, or you come up with a great idea, but if you don't execute it,
that's it.
What's
that's
the point?
Another thing too.
Do you know what I mean? You have 17 great ideas.
Then you've got to execute it.
Absolutely. Like you need to, like, you know, set goals, track them, and make sure you achieve them. And then if you don't achieve them, why did you not achieve them? Rectify it and start again. So that's fundamental to me in relation to telling myself.
Yeah, and also the beginning of the business, you have to put yourself out there and also put 100% of your effort and time into your business, because that's the only way it's going to work. Also in business, you have to be positive. You can't have a negative attitude, because that will only drain you.
Attitude and mind as well, because that obviously,
Absolutely. Like if you're having a bad day, okay, accept it, but move on quickly, because it will drain you and it will disrupt your flow and action of reaching your goals.
Yeah, because like in any business, there's so many negatives.
Yeah.
Who knows? You get shut down. You're not getting, people aren't ringing you back. And you know, it's how you deal with those. You know, how do you deal with the negative? There's a friend of mine who's you know, the other people, they ring up like telemarketing, or they try and sell people stuff over the phone. I don't know how they do it, but he has that attitude that everything just washes right off him. He's okay with the no's. He's waiting for that one yes in 100. That's hard. That's a very hard attitude to actually have. It's easy to say, but if you've got seven no's in a row, it's easy to say rather than do. So it's just trying to check yourself, bring yourself back to that sort of
someone
positivity.
told me in the past that the more no's you get, the closer you are to a yes.
I was just about to say. I was just about to say that.
You're reading each other's mind.
Being positive, it doesn't matter if you get no's because that means you're closer to a yes.
Yeah, Kathleen's very good at dealing with that. She's my lead generator.
Okay.
It gets me down a bit more than it does her. So after about 10, I'm like, I'm doing something else.
Yes,
I'll pick it up again tomorrow.
You need to be focused, and you need to know. You just have to remember your goals and why you started this in the first place. And just don't worry if there's a no.
Keep going.
There will be a yes sooner.
Yeah. Outside of business, guys, do you have any hobbies that you guys like doing, probably on your own or together?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love sport.
He's crazy about sport.
Sport's my thing. I love football, but I think you call it soccer here. So I have to make sure because they go, oh, rugby. I'm like, no, soccer. But I love football. The kids love football. But I've actually got into rugby league, would you believe, this year?
Oh,
my kids asked to play rugby league.
Yeah.
And
so your kids are in it now?
They joined the team this year. So they're 7 and 9. So and they were tossing up between soccer and rugby league at the start of the season. And the soccer team had no coach. So they asked me to coach. I said, no, I just don't have time. I'm starting a business. I'll do that. And I ended up going down to rugby league and became the coach.
Oh, excellent.
I never played rugby league. Never played rugby league in my life. They showed me through a few drills. They're 7 and 8. They're catching and passing. But I actually really enjoyed it. It was really, really good. The kids had a great time. You learn an awful lot there. It was a good community of people. A lot of people giving a lot of time for that club to run. You know, the things you see. I've joined the committee. I'm on the team.
Beautiful bunch as well.
So they have a lot of social events.
That's like my daughter
I love
as
that.
well. You know, she loves her dancing. She's dancing, 3-4 times a week. But yeah, like when you when you go to the concerts, like her concert is this Saturday.
Yep.
And you just look at all the parents and all the teachers, all the work that gets put into it. In the background, you don't see that.
It's like a community, isn't it? Yeah.
That's exactly. We've got ourselves a new community in the last year since we joined the rugby. You know, from people inviting you out for dinner or just a nice new bunch, that's been the best part of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, fundamentally sport is what and I love to get out obviously and meet some friends once or twice a month and catch up. But I play football myself, or try to play football on a Thursday night, just so I can meet up with my friends. Because we've all got families now, and your time gets taken up on weekends. When I was 25, we used to play soccer on the weekend, 6 or 7 hours. But now we've all got kids, so we do like a quick hour on a Thursday night. We join a comp, so that's my sort of hobby. How about yourself?
I don't have any hobbies, but I do love catching up with friends, and we love going to different cafes and having coffee and cake.
Yeah,
I love my cakes.
Yeah, I'm the same as well. We've got a sweet spot.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
With myself, like day in day out, I do a lot of driving. I'm out on the road. I listen to music. Keeps me motivated and keeps me going. Are you guys like that? Like, do you guys have like a favorite song that you like playing, whether it be in the car or at home?
I love R&B. One of my favorite songs, and I still have it on my my phone as a ringtone. I love Drake.
Oh, okay.
So the Just Hold On, We're Coming Home, that song. I love that. I've had that for years. And I like Rita Ora. I love music. I could not live without music.
Yeah, I'm the same too. I love my R&B.
This is where we differ.
Yeah.
I am not a
You're completely different. Different genre.
No. I listen to podcasts. It's the sort of thing. I listen to podcasts. And don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-music, but a good anthem like a Bon Jovi song or something just like a John Farnham, the voice. I will sing along to it. I'm not against it, but I won't if my phone has no music on it. As in,
strange, right?
I have so many. I have so many podcasts.
Did you just have ringtones? You just have
I don't even have that. No, it rings. Beep,
not
beep,
even
beep,
ringtones.
beep. No, I'm a podcast guy from my point of view, but I'm not against music. I like if you find me in a bar, I might sing John Farnham for you.
Okay.
So you know how people walk on the streets listening to their listening to music? He listens to podcasts.
Podcasts, What's your favourite? Like who are you listening to at the moment?
There's a couple of there's two things. One through work. I'm with a networking group, so there's a few different ones through there, just about positivity and building business and being a small business owner. And then there's sport. As I said, the other one's sport. Following up whatever on the NRL or the soccer or whatever is on that weekend. So either or, depending what mood I'm in.
Excellent. Okay, cool. And to wrap it up, guys, is there a tip that you can share with us and relating to like maybe mortgages, home loans?
Sure. Look, from my point of view, what I would say to anybody out there is check your bills and your statements and your loans. This can be from your mortgage, which is probably your business biggest single debt,
Yes.
but your electricity bill, your gas bill, your phone bill. Like, we all get complacent and we go on a contract for a certain period of time, and 2 years later we're still on the highest rate because they just switched us to the highest rate.
That's right.
That happens fundamentally on loans all the time. People just get complacent, and all of a sudden they'll say, I'll do it next month. And all of a sudden 6 months goes by and it's 12 months, 18 months. Like, all I will say is, please engage a broker, ask the question. It'll take an hour or two of your time. Be it with the broking. I had a client, as in just last week, who hadn't looked at their loan in 4 years, and they were on 5.5 when they should be on about 4 on over $1 million loan. So they're going to save $10,000 to $12,000 on interest by just engaging a broker.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Any bill you have, make sure that you're looking at it and engage someone. Review it, yeah. Check the rates, ring them up. You'll find someone. Even just go to your normal provider and ask them. You know what I mean, in that regard. So I would say that's one of the tips, is absolutely do not get complacent around your bills and all the money you're outgoing. There's ways and means to save, and it can add up to a very big amount.
It's easy to overlook. You know, you've got car insurance, for example. You've got electricity bill, gas bill, and then obviously mortgages as well, which is possibly the biggest debt. And it's you get.
Do not want to get complacent with that. And that's what I'm saying. And we just do. Life happens. I get it. But it's just about, I've done it myself. And that extra few minutes or an hour or 2 hours, a bit of research, have a conversation with a broker, or go online with your, as you said, your insurances, shop around. That's what I'd recommend, absolutely.
Okay. My tip isn't about mortgages. My tip would be just to be kind to others. Help people when you can, and put a smile on their faces. People will always remember the way you make them feel rather than what you have said to them. So be kind. Be kind.
Excellent. Excellent tip, guys. Thank you for that.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much
Thank you very much.
coming.
There you go, guys. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.